Fire of inspiration in Krishna consciousness in our hearts. We'll start with Mangala Charana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 And if you know these, you can please chant along with me. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnuvadaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtya Desha Tarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grateful to be here with all of you. And I wanted to, on the suggestion of Acharya Prabhu, speak on the joy of Krishna consciousness. Because if we hear enough about how wonderful the process of Krishna consciousness is, or I should rather say, the more we hear about the glories of Krishna consciousness, the more enthused we will be to practice. This is a natural process, is that we hear the wonders of a thing, a person, an activity, and we become attracted to it. This is how marketing companies work. Did you know why social media is free? Do you know why social media is free? Why don't you have to pay to go on Instagram? Do you know? Why not? Why? Because you are the product. Our attention is being sold. And how do these companies work? They sell our desires practically. Because we are giving our consciousness when we go and scroll on our phone. And marketing companies show us the same images and videos and their brand name again and again. They're doing kirtan. Kirtan means to glorify. And they're doing kirtan of their product practically. They're saying, buy this, buy this, buy this. And you hear it enough times, you see the brand name enough times, and you trust it, right? Like I see Puma here, and I have this conception that this is a good brand. If I buy that brand instead of some shoe with no brand, then I trust it. So we already do this in material life. Let's do it in Krishna consciousness. Let's remind each other of the unparalleled process of bhakti yoga that we have right in front of us. If we simply practice sincerely and seriously, we can get everything we're looking for. And I thought to base this on a verse spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. Can we pull it up? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam, this verse. Did you all see the Mahavatar Nrsimha movie? Yes?
It's on Netflix by the way now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
I need to watch it still. I'm not up to date. But in the conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and his father, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu asks his son Prahlad, what's the best thing you learned in school today? Right? And he says, in reply, he says this verse, which we will we'll read it. He says many things, and he's fearless because Hiranyakashipu is the most powerful person in the universe. He's subdued all of the devas, and they shudder in fear at the mere movement of his eyebrow. And yet, little 5-year-old Prahlad is fearless, and he speaks to his father this verse about the 9 processes of bhakti yoga, which we see here. Yes. So, we'll chant this. Please repeat. Shri Prahlada Uvacha.
Shri Brihad Uvacha.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Smaranam Pada Sevanam.
Smaranam Padasevanam.
Archanam Vandanam Nasyam.
Archanam Vandanam Nasyam.
Sakhyam Atmanivedanam.
Sakhyam Atmanivedanam.
This describes the 9 processes of bhakti yoga. It is said that by sincere practice of any one of the 9, one can attain complete perfection in Krishna consciousness. And we are so fortunate that when we come here for this Saturday program, we do many of these, all in just a few hours. And we will highlight some of the joys inherent in each of these angas or limbs of bhakti, and hope to enthuse our hearts more and more to continue and to deepen our practice of Krishna consciousness. The first item is Shravanam. What does Shravanam mean? Hearing. Yes, hearing. And there is an exemplar of this process of devotional service by the name of Parikshit Maharaj. He was the emperor of the world, and he was cursed to die by a young boy, Shringi. He was a Brahmana boy. And as soon as Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, he was resolute that he would give up his entire kingdom and fast until death. And he would do nothing but hear about Krishna. Now, can you imagine that level of detachment? Think of some possessions in your life, or some people in your life that you are very attached to. I think of my phone immediately. If there were a fire happening and I needed to grab one thing, it would be my japa beads and my phone, probably. Or maybe your home, or whatever possession may be dear to you. Now, imagine that you are not just a CEO, not just some Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, super wealthy business magnate, but imagine you have dominion over the entire world, and just to give up everything like that. This is the renunciation of Parikshit. And he goes and he sits on the bank of the Ganga to hear, and who shows up just at this time? Who shows up? Huh? Starts with S. Shukadeva Goswami. He is a boy sage. He's just 16 years old and extremely beautiful. And so everyone there recognizes this is an exalted soul, and they give him a seat of honor, and he begins to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam. And one verse which we get later in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam highlights the wonders of the process of hearing. It says, Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pungsa shoka moha bhayapaha. It says that by this process of hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, or hearing in general the glories of Krishna, the names of Krishna, then Krishna parama pungsa bhaktir utpadyate pungsa, we get love for the Lord planted in our heart. And shoka, moha, bhaya, apaha. This means that lamentation, shoka, moha, illusion, and bhaya, fear, apaha, they're uprooted from our heart. You'll sometimes feel some lamentation, you sometimes feel some anxiety, some confusion, some fear, anxiety. Sometimes we feel these things. By the process of hearing, all of these are uprooted from our heart. And it's also said, Ishwara Satyo Hridya Varudyate Shushu. How does it go? It's the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Kimva Parer Ishwara Sadyo Hridya Avarudyate Atra Kritivi Shushubhistakshana. By this hearing, so not only do these wonderful things happen, but Krishna himself becomes captured in your heart. Krishna is so attracted to the heart of one who is always hearing about him that he becomes like a prisoner. He becomes trapped in the heart of such a person. So not only do all these bad, undesirable things flee away, like when there's pigeons and you clap your hands, they all fly away. Like that, by this process of hearing, all the unwanted things in our lives go away, and Krishna himself becomes attracted to sit in your heart. There's so many verses that go on about this process of hearing. And our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada, when he was coming on the boat, the Jaladuta, his cargo ship from India to America in 1965, he was suffering from intense nausea, seasickness, and he was suffering from heart attacks, not one, but two. And how was he going on? He said that by the nectarine of the message, the hearing, reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, who is none other than Lord Krishna. And this is how Srila Prabhupada set the example for us, that in a most unpleasant, uncomfortable, fearful situation, if we can give ourselves fully to this hearing about Krishna, then we can be at peace. These are a few short words about this process of Shravanam, the amazing wonders. And after Shravanam, after you've sufficiently heard, then naturally, whatever is in our heart begins to come out. Just like we were saying in the material world, if you hear about a wonderful celebrity long enough, you'll start to talk about that person, right? Or you hear a song, you ever get a song stuck in your head? And then you'll just find yourself singing that song? So, like that, the things we put into our ears and go into our hearts will naturally come out of our mouths, and we will glorify, we'll do kirtan. And the proper usage of this natural propensity is to glorify Krishna. This is, as in Lord Chaitanya's words, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. This kirtan process is like an ocean, but not just any ocean. It's an ocean of nectar. And it's not just an ocean of nectar, but it's always increasing at every moment. If we're really conscious, if we're really in a pure state of mind and we're chanting the names of Krishna, then we have an unlimited experience of sweetness. And we're so fortunate that even in an impure state, we can get some taste of the sweetness of chanting. You all have been in kirtans that you just feel your heart opening, you feel some sweet emotions, you feel free from anxieties in life, yes? Especially when you can just dance with abandon, right? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he and his devotees would chant and dance during Ratha Yatra every year in Jagannath Puri. In fact, on the back wall here, you can see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing there, just in the middle, between Damodar and Srila Prabhupada. And Lord Chaitanya would organize the kirtans. There would be many different huge groups, and there would be so many Mridanga players, there would be so many kartal players, and there would also be a lead dancer. Did you know? There would have one lead dancer. So it's something we can do here, is to have one person who's standing in the front and leading the dance moves, and everyone follows them. So they were all dancing like this and dancing, and they would form these circles. Lord Chaitanya would be in the very middle, and there would be one circle here, there would be another circle here, and they would be protecting Lord Chaitanya, and the very, very confidential, intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya would be in that inner circle. And there's so many wonderful pastimes during this Ratha Yatra, chanting and dancing. And Lord Chaitanya, he would go on dancing and dancing so much, and he wouldn't stop, hour after hour after hour. He's Nataraj, he's the king of dance. To see him dancing must be the most beautiful thing that you could ever imagine. Like we have Bharatnatyam, it's beautiful dancing. Anyone here do this? You do? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have this coordinated dancing. And now imagine the supreme king of all dance, the origin of all dance. Imagine what it would look like for him. And so he would go on and on and on and on, chanting and dancing, and all the devotees would be exhausted. They would be transcendentally exhausted. They have spiritual bodies, so actually they could keep going on and on. But for the pastimes variety, it was arranged that the devotees had to somehow get Lord Chaitanya to stop in a mood of service to move on to the next. Because also the cart, Jagannath's cart, would stop when Lord Chaitanya would be dancing, because Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Lord Jagannath is Krishna. And so Lord Jagannath is, they're having this loving exchange. And so somehow or other they got Lord Chaitanya to stop dancing so they could go on with the Ratha Yatra and go on to the next pastime. So this kirtan is so, so wonderful that even God himself wants to do kirtan. Did you know? Krishna himself wants so much to be part of this. And this is one of the reasons that Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya, is to start this worldwide Sankirtan movement that we are a part of. Because it's so unbelievably sweet. If it's so sweet that even Krishna himself wants to do kirtan, wants to come to this world as a devotee to do kirtan, then shouldn't we try to be serious about this process of chanting? And it's a little difficult sometimes because we're purifying our heart, Cheto Darpana Marjana, but more and more as we go on, we will feel the sweetness of the kirtan. After kirtanam, we have Vishnu Smaranam. So after you're hearing about something long enough, you're talking about it, then it's natural that you'll start to remember, right? I learned recently, there was an interesting video of a Harvard professor. This video was called Put Down Your Phone and Be Bored. I thought it was really interesting, so I watched this 5-minute video on boredom by a Harvard psychology professor. And he explained that there's something called the default mode network, which becomes activated in our brain when we're not actively doing some activity. We're in such a world of efficiency and doing, right? A lot of passion. We're always thinking, okay, studies and homework and chores or work and family responsibilities and this and this. And always going and going and going. So his point was we should stop sometimes and just let ourselves be and let this default mode network, according to to the psychology terminology. Let this become activated. And what this is, it stimulates reflection on our life and consideration of our values, what's really important to us. And so if we stop, then what comes into our heart? We sometimes are just going so fast in our lives, we don't ever stop to see what's actually in our heart, right? There's this wonderful retreat, which if you have the opportunity to do, in Govardhan, in Vrajadam, in just not far from Vrindavan itself. It's called Alone with Krishna, facilitated by two disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Sachinandana Swami and Burijan Prabhu. And the major part of this process is simply to go and sit by Giriraj Govardhan and be alone with Krishna for 2 hours. How often do we do this, just to be alone with Krishna? Maybe we're chanting, but how much are we really there with Krishna? How much do we really set time aside to just be with Krishna? So this is a high stage of bhakti, is to have our mind absorbed in Krishna, to be always remembering Krishna. But if we can do this, then imagine how sweet our lives will become. Hare Krishna. Just imagine, you can be anywhere. You can be at work. You can be in the most stressful day. You can be hungry, famished, exhausted, overburdened, overwhelmed with all of your responsibilities. And yet, internally, you're remembering, just think of Lord Chaitanya dancing around the ashram, how sweet the chanting was, and the sweet exchange of Lord Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya, the organization of all the dancers, and you're remembering the pastimes of Krishna. Your mind is absorbed in this process of smaranam. You can just stop whatever you're doing and you take a bathroom break. You just, wherever you are, you somehow get away and just absorb yourself for a moment in this remembrance. And this can give us the reprieve that we're so desperately longing for. And this is an extremely important aspect, and that's an understatement. This is essential if we want to perfect our Krishna consciousness. Why is it so important? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, that Antakale chamameva smaran mukto kalevaram yaprayati samadhavam yati nasti atra samashaya. He says that at the end of our life, Antakale chamameva, remembering Him alone, swaram mukto kalevaram yaprayati samadhavam yati nasti atra samashaya, then you'll return to Him without a doubt. Without a doubt, if we're absorbed in thinking of Him. But He also says, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever we're thinking of, tam tam evaiti konte, that thing, whatever we're remembering, we will get in our next life. This is critical for us to realize. It's not that just at the end of our life we can say, okay, now I'm going to start thinking about Krishna. Because Krishna said, if I just think of Him at the time of death, then I'll go to Him. It's not that easy. If we stop for a moment and see what's really in our heart in the midst of a busy day, or during our chanting, what are we remembering when we're sitting in a kirtan? What are we thinking when we're chanting japa? And the thing that is most dear to us, that is the thing that we will be absorbed in. And at the end of life, that's where our heart will go. That's where our remembrance will be. And that will pull us into our next life. Even for someone just on the precipice of pure love, prema, like Jad Bharat, he was on the stage of bhava, which is just before, it's said to be like the early rising sun, just before the sunrise of prema comes in one's heart. And Jad Bharat, the great former king Bharat, in his next life, after he had renounced his kingdom, he was in the forest and he became distracted by attachment to a deer. And what happened in his next life? He became a deer. Although a fully conscious deer. He got a special exception. And then it took him not that life, but even another life to then perfect his devotional service. So this process of smaranam is of utmost importance. Shravanam and kirtanam are external, and we must do them. We chant a prescribed number of rounds every day, work our way up to 16 rounds. We do this without fail every day. And we listen to classes, we hear kirtans, we do these external processes. But if our mind is not absorbed, then at the end of life, will we go back to Krishna? Not according to this verse. He says, Antakale cha mam eva. Me alone. We need to remember Krishna alone. So this is, I don't think we'll have time to go through all 9. If you're wondering, we're not going to go through all 9 processes. Because these 3 are the most essential. If we can get to this stage of remembrance of Krishna, then we are perfect. In fact, it is said that of all the rules and regulations of bhakti, what is the most important? Do you know?
Always remember Krishna.
A-R-K and F-K. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. And those things which help us to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna, those things we should accept. And those things which don't help us remember Krishna, we should give up. This is surrender. This is how we offer ourselves to Krishna, is by saying, Krishna, this thing in my life is not helping me remember you. Therefore, I will give it up. Krishna, this thing is difficult, like fasting or waking up early and chanting my japa. This is very difficult, Krishna, but it helps me remember you, so I will do it. I will accept this. We're supposed to be talking about the joys of bhakti, and I'm talking about the discipline of bhakti, but they're intertwined. And I'll wrap up with this point, and I would love to hear reflections and questions. It's not an easy thing to attain Krishna consciousness. It's not a cheap thing. Why? Because it's the greatest treasure. And do we work hard for making money?
Yes.
Yes. Some don't. Some are very fortunate. They're born into wealth or somehow.
It's okay, bro. Leave it.
We work hard for a degree. Yes. Do we work hard to get a degree?
Yes.
To come to America.
Yes.
I travel to India every year, and it's a great austerity to travel this long distance. It's an austerity. We do so many things. We work very hard for many things. Why shouldn't we have to work hard for Krishna? We think it will be so easy. But if we work hard, if we show Krishna we really are sincere and serious about a devotional service, then he wants us to experience the sweetness. But he knows that if we take it cheaply, then easy come, easy go. He wants to know that we are really there because I don't want anything else but you, Krishna. So little by little, by taking up more and more the disciplines of Bhakti Yoga, especially chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 principles, reading the books of Srila Prabhupada. If we can do these things regularly with devotees who are sincere and serious about the practice of bhakti, we can quickly advance. And we don't have to drag on the process for a long time. It's up to us. Do we want to experience the sweetness of Krishna consciousness? How hard are we willing to work? What are we willing to sacrifice? It's not a cheap thing, but it's the greatest thing, so why not? Anyway, all of our material things will go someday. We don't know when. So why not make the best investment? These are a few reflections on the three foundational limbs of bhakti. Thank you for your kind intention. It's really a reciprocal thing. Because you're listening attentively, I'm able to say something. So thank you for giving your ears and your hearts. Now if you have any reflections or questions, I would love to hear from you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
So Prabhuji, you said listening is one of the important aspects of bhakti. These days, Prabhuji, I heard or I read somewhere that listening from the pure devotee is most important than just listening. And since we gather here every Saturday, and every Saturday we get to listen from the devotee, but in the weekdays, most of the time, what I do is like listening on the YouTube, and that just like you're putting your earplug and then you're just listening to it. Does that also helps? Like, but at the same time, I'm saving my time. I'm doing something else. Like maybe I'm cooking at the same time I'm listening. Does that will also help me in progressing, or because sometimes I'm focused, I'm listening, whatever this, and sometimes I'm just chopping and then sometimes I'm again back listening, and this is what's happening. So would that really help me to progress?
Absolutely. Devotional service is so powerful because it's absolute. So the process of hearing, Krishna is there in his name. Krishna is there in his glorification. So if we're hearing a class, even inattentively, still we're getting immense benefit. And the more we can fill our ears with the glories of Krishna, then that's best. So that's wonderful, yes. And every opportunity you get, it's best to do in the association of devotees. So that whatever you're hearing, you can discuss. So even it can be done on the phone. You can make a phone call to a devotee here and build a relationship and say, I was hearing this class, and here's something I heard, I want to share with you. Can we discuss about this? That's the best, is Shravanam and Kirtanam. Yeah, sharing what you learn with someone else. So we can try to create that culture here, is to fill our conversations with some Krishna Katha. Yes. Hare Krishna, thank you. Yes, other reflections that you'd like to share?
I have a question.
Yes, Acharya.
So going back to the joy aspect of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna says in the course of his conversation that this process is very joyful. He actually says it's susukam, when it's performed and it's joyful. But we encounter challenges, it seems like an uphill task sometimes. So how do you, what sort of perspective can we develop to be able to overcome those highs, or those steep upward climbs?
Yes. It's described by our Acharya Rupa Goswami that we have a jaundice condition, and although the names and pastimes of Krishna are sweet like sugar, in the condition of jaundice you can't taste it. In fact, it tastes bitter. But this is the natural Ayurvedic remedy, is to take jaggery, to relieve our jaundice condition. And then, as we get healthy, then we can taste the sweetness more and more. Therefore, we need to take our medicine. What's the best way to take your medicine? Just take it in what way?
Based on the prescription.
Based on the prescription of a professional. Yes. You don't just go buy some drugs in the store and say, take whichever ones, whenever you like. No, you follow a schedule according to an expert. And so our expert, Srila Prabhupada, has given us a formula, a very simple formula, to arrange your life so that you can always remember Krishna, and especially to focus on daily, sincere, attentive japa. And if we can do this, then we will quickly purify our heart and get healthy and taste the sweetness. And just imagine if we had a taste for chanting the holy names. Every day, sitting and chanting, you would be lamenting that your time is over and you have to go to work now. Oh, Krishna, why do I have to stop chanting my japa now? Can you imagine how wonderful that would be? And imagine you're at work and you're just thinking, I can't wait to get home and chant japa. You know? Like, maybe for me, I can think that if there's some big festival, I can't wait to go to the festival. There will be such nice prasad. And I'll see my friends. And we'll dance together. I'm thinking like this. Imagine if we felt that about japa. I can't wait to just go be with Krishna. It's so sweet to be with Krishna. So, one thing is to take our medicine under the guidance of an expert, and as I said at the beginning, to hear about the glories of the results that will come in our lives, to become excited that one day I can experience the most sweet relationship with Krishna, that I won't want anything less. These are a few reflections, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or reflections?
I would like to ask
Hare Krishna.
senses. Yeah, I have one question, Prabhuji. Like while doing prasadam, like how can I think that I'm cooking for Krishna? Usually, like I do it as a chore. Like, oh, I have to cook for my family, then I have to feed my family. But whatever, like while cooking, so how can I build that consciousness? So I'm cooking for Krishna, and that remains whatever I have offered to Krishna, I'm giving it to my family. So how can I build that consciousness while cooking?
One way is by hearing about those devotees who have that type of consciousness. Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, for example, there are many instances of devotees who are cooking with such love for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Mother Sachi. We can read about her example and how she's cooking with so much affection for her Nimai. And her love is so intense when she's cooking for Lord Chaitanya that he personally comes and he takes her prasadam. And then, so she makes the offering like we're doing here, and then she'll go back to the altar and see that it's gone, and she thinks, maybe I didn't make an offering. And so she'll prepare another one, because Lord Chaitanya just came and ate. So this is one example. Or who else? Advaita Acharya invites Lord Chaitanya. He actually tricks Lord Chaitanya to come over to his place. He has Nityananda Prabhu help, and Lord Chaitanya is in this ecstasy, wandering, and he thinks he's in Vrindavan. Some cowherd boys tell Lord Chaitanya, yes, the Yamuna is over there, you're here in Vrindavan. And then he sees Nityananda Prabhu, and he says, Nityananda Prabhu, why are you in Vrindavan? And Nityananda Prabhu says, no, wherever you are is, or is this Advaita, does Advaita Acharya say this? In any case, one of them say,
Advaita Acharya sets it up.
yeah, wherever you are, my Lord, that is Vrindavan. And then Advaita Acharya whisks him over to his house and feeds him this huge feast. So, by hearing about those devotees who cook for the Lord with pure love, we can meditate on their example, and we can see how they do it, and we can follow their footsteps. This is a very potent way to increase our service, is to hear about those who are at the level we want to come to, and try to follow their example. And while we're cooking, we can try to remember. Maybe we can even hear, we can play, like when we're doing our daily duties, we can put in headphones, play on the speaker, some lecture, and try to remember. That's one reflection I can share. What do you think? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Krishna. Yes.
So Prabhuji, why there is like this wave pattern that at least I feel like sometimes I'm here doing like I really want to do chanting and even if it's Ekadashi I have to do like 16 and above and sometimes I'm very low and I just don't want to sit at one place and do something else other than chanting but do reading and this is like a cyclical shift that I have seen. I don't know why that happens and it is happening a lot whenever I'm stressed or something happening going on in the family like wedding and everything and I'm not able to focus even though I know that I should be doing it. My heart is telling me go do it and I'm like I'll do it in a bit and at the night it's like already 10 and I'm like I cannot do it. Let me do double round, like maybe 32 next day and not today. So this is what is going on most of the time. And why does that happen? And how can we at least make an attempt to solve it?
Yes. Thank you for the sincere question, vulnerable sharing. This is the nature of the sadhaka. There's siddha and there's sadhaka. Sadhaka means a practitioner. Siddha is the perfected devotee. By default, if we are a sadhaka, that means we will be up and down. That's just, we have to accept this as the reality. We don't yet have this steadiness. Therefore, we need to regulate and find a sustainable process. For coming up to a standard, let's say 16 rounds, for different devotees it takes different times, and we need to take in our life what we can do consistently. Yes, so we should be careful about over-endeavoring and then burning ourselves out. We should aim to have balance. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshasya karmasu. Balance in our eating, sleeping, work, recreation. And the best solution that our spiritual master is always repeating to us is try to go to bed early and try to wake up early and chant your japa before anything else is happening, before any other distractions. That's the best. So regulation and sleep early to rise, that's what I can share. Shall we finish here, Prabhu? Okay. Thank you again for your sincere hearing. I'm very grateful to you. And whatever beneficial things that I was able to share is simply the mercy of my Guru and Srila Prabhupada. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
So I am hoping all of us are feeling inspired by listening to Prabhuji and ready to experience the joy of Krishna consciousness and with a little bit of work, not much. He's shared very practical tips, but there were excellent questions from our devotees here. So let's first of all give it up for His Grace Brihad Mridanga Prabhu with loudly chanting what? The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Brihad Prabhu, for stopping by here and sharing tips to how to become joyful in Krishna consciousness. I've heard from senior Vaishnavas that the devotees of Krishna are some of the ones with the highest aspirations on this planet. And I hope we all can relate with that now a little bit more. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to hear from Bruce Prabhu, who is traveling along with Brihad Mridanga Prabhu. So he is an extremely talented rapper. How many of you know what rap is? Right? Okay, and how many of you like to hear rap? This rap is very different. It is transcendental rap. And yeah, I heard it, I was like very amazed. So we will let Prabhuji do it and yeah, we'll just hear from him. Would you need like 2 microphones?
No, you need mic. Of course you need mic. You need anything else?
Probably 1 mic for the music and 1 for your recitation.
Do you want a beat? You should stand up. Yeah, face up.
Yes, sir. So if you want, we can like use this mic.
I made it to inspire people to be Krishna conscious and make people understand that devotees are cool. Because we are super cool.
So one thing that I would like to highlight about him is Bruce Prabhu is someone who felt like he wants to share this Krishna consciousness with others because he found joy and solace in it. So he has that heart of wanting to make others happy, and I think that is the inspiration. Also, I mean, I'm just adding to it of of the track that he's produced.
I really want to see Krishna consciousness blow up. So yeah, that was a big part of the inspiration. Yeah. Getting purified one bead at a time. They say we just chant, they don't know that's the grind. Hanuman the squirrel, you do yours, I do mine. Chant those rounds to get rid of the ground. Time, place, and circumstance matters a lot. Meet them where they at, then I bring them to the spot. Press around the block, then I turn them up a knock. Trapped in Maya with the keys to the lock. Young Hari Krishna monks, relish in the mix. Faded at the heart, now I'm in a lot of bliss. Getting higher as I preach to you, you get the gist. We small, he's big, let's call it how it is. Short enough, Krishna, I'm a means to an end. Stick to the job and you always gonna win. If I fall out, you gonna pull me back in. Friends pick each other up and do it again. Jug guy in the pub for the sake of the books. He used to be a crook, man, I wonder what it took. Became a Pujari, who let his past shook. See what happens when you let Krishna cook. I do it for Govinda, man, I do it for the Shema. All day, every day, I want to see a hooker. You know what's off if you ever see me sipping soda, trying to elevate my life, so I turned it in a booker. Used to rock locks with a Dewey. Bald MJ, do not sue me. Monk life really like a movie. High hopes are good by the Shruti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Crazy like a moon, they just got a brother too. Crazy as he's white, but that'll put you in a loop. Probably almost forgot that he remember what to do. Ask where you at, then I saw the Saru. My did me dirty, Krishna hit me with a burpee. See the Lord's mercy, even though I'm not worthy. Live the hard life. Then I met the devotees, if you wonder where I'm at, I'm situated in this richie. Song I got my job, I gotta give him some distance. Praying for the prema, gotta give it all the patience. Chant the holy name to get rid of the pestilence. Clean the no house and tell me why this existence. Soul got control of the body like a meg. If you come to bhakti, you don't gotta come correct. But watch your offenses, or you'll be left bereft. Just tune in to Krishna and your whole life is set. You kill like Sanjaya. When I fly high like Garuda. Lost like I'm in the Bermuda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Haribol!
Encore. So you see how you can use every bit of your talents, and the very fact that we are all sitting in this room in this the most advanced country in the world, hopefully still so, and you see how you can use your talents in Krishna's service. Like there will be so many who will be out there who will be inspired by his words, what he put together, and all in the glorification of Krishna and the devotional service to Krishna. So thank you very much. Once again, let's give it up for Bruce Prabhu with a loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Let's do it again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare